Hi and welcome. I'm going to be doing a piece similar to this, and I'm just going to show you the process. So I'm using these coasters that I bought from the charity shop for $3, and I'm going to take two because I want to prep one for another project. You find what your focus point is before you start. So for this one I've sort of done, I suppose, a circly thing and then put my focus here. Obviously you can put your focus along the bottom, a triangle, square in the middle, do it in half with a squiggle, do a line there and there, or a circle. This is an off circle. So once you know sort of what you're going to do, it will then give you an idea of where you're going to now put all your junk onto your piece of work. So let's get started. A bit of sandpaper and just rough up the smooth edges. We're then going to take some black gesso and paint them. Now I'm going to quickly dry it off camera and I'll come back to you. So you can see this one is dry to the touch, whereas this one I'm going to leave to dry naturally. So the next thing you need to do is go around and go to your local charity store, into your button drawer, wherever you keep odds and things that are broken or you're not going to use anymore. So I'll just give you an idea of the things I have collected for my classes. So in here there's letters, buttons, beads, and what I'm going to do is take a few buttons out of here because I might use those. The shoe boxes, I went to a shoe store and they had lots, so I was able to get quite a lot. And here I've got beads and bits of wire, strange things, but these are all from the charity store. They were collecting them for me because they were broken things. And here I've got paper things, and this is to create texture. So this is a piece of flowers, bit of net curtain, I might keep that out. And what I do is I just go through my boxes just to see what I have, and I just take a few things to get started. Oops. I've just found some flowers that are not used yet. And in here is my beads. So these are thousands of beads that I've got from charity stores. And these are your main staple of using things. And so I have a cup and I just get a supply ready to use. And then my last one here, again, this is texture, so this is more of the lace and ribbon. And then in here we have lots of sticks. So I use these for putting height in thing, and these are cool. My words have gone today. These are where you pushed out the die cuts, but it's quite nice and thick, and again I use this for giving me some height. So once you've been through everything, you're going to come back. So the idea here now is to take some matte gel medium, and this will get quite sticky, and I take a spatula and basically you go ahead layering. So over here I found paper willy, and I'm going to focus on putting, this will go in the middle, so I'm focusing on putting everything on the sides. And basically you're just layering. So here we go. Let's begin. And the gel medium also acts as a coat for things like paper. It will harden it up, it will stick it, and I've got this. This is just, I think this is paper, and then I'm going to put a I've got left over from some project. And other than knowing where my centerpiece will be, there is no pattern or way of doing this. It is just about not really thinking about it, getting that gel medium down and just thinking about it. So now I'm going to start laying things on. So in no order, and just if you want the holes to show, just take a bit of the glue out the centers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up my camera and take you on further through this process, and I'll see you soon. So that's put together now, sort of dry. Everything still moves, as you can see, but you have to leave it overnight to dry fully. But at this point, things are stuck down enough for us to now gesso everything. And I've just realised I've got the big brush, so I'll try this. If not, I'll have to go and get another one. And what you're doing is, without disturbing too much, you want to cover everything now in black gesso. So that's done. So a tapping motion actually helps get the gesso in the gap, the black gesso into the gaps, and helps get things really started. You can see, I don't know if you can see, I'll bring it up. You can see that you can see paper through there, but that will come once the glue dries and the paint dries. So again, I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to give this a quick dry, and then I'll be straight back. So this is now dry to touch. It's quite warm. Things are starting to stick, which is really good. I may then stick a piece of fabric or felt on the back to make it into something that looks a bit nicer than that. And also what I've noticed is there's a few bits that I can see in there, which I'm going to now go and get a little brush and touch up. You don't want too much gesso on it, because the more gesso you put in on these little designs, the cloggier they become, and then you miss the texture. So I'm just going to grab a quick brush and finish that off, and I'll be back soon. So you can see I've now touched up the bits that I wasn't quite happy with, and you can still see things underneath, but that won't show so much when it, but now the magic begins. So I've chosen, these are metallics. I've chosen 2 different golds and a white pearl. The rule of thumb is that you start dark and work lighter, but obviously these are very similar golds, but I think this is the Venetian gold is richer, and the Splendid Gold is brighter, and then I've got a white pearl. You want to choose a dry brush. Doesn't matter what sort of brush, as long as it's soft and dry. You give these a good shake, which I just did on camera, and you're going to line them up on the side. So we've got the dark gold, the warmer gold, and say pearl, white pearl. You also want a dry piece of paper, and I've just used a paper towel. I'll put that there. So the idea is you take a bit of the paint, and you don't want to take much, you want to work most of it off, and then the magic begins, and you just literally go over. So some of mine is still wet, it will dry overnight, and sometimes they do fall off, so re-gluing. So you can see I've done far too much paint there, and I'm just highlighting all the different bits. Make sure I get down here and pick up some of this texture. Oh, another one. So it looks dry, feels dry, but it's actually quite wet still. Those are those beads. So I'm doing this with on camera live, so to speak. I've not left it overnight to dry, whereas I think if you were doing this at home you could leave this overnight to dry. So you can see my paper towel is quite clean, so I'm going to now go into the next colour. Again, take away most of your paint and start again. And you can't see much difference, but you'll see it picking up a little bit more shine. And I really don't need much of that. Maybe just pick it up to see. Just gonna, if you pick it up too, you can also make sure you don't miss anywhere. So I'm happy with that. The thing with this is knowing when to stop. That's quite hard. So now I'm going to go on with my final colour. That one does not want to stay on. Let's go and do. And what you're doing now is just highlighting. And because I've just done the two different bronzes and then just taken the white, it's not going to stay, is it? It will, because the glue there is quite wet, so it will eventually stick. And I don't know if you can see that emerging. And again, it's knowing when to stop. Now, if there's an area you don't like, you can take the black gesso and paint over it. If you feel like I do now that I want a little bit more bronze, you go back, again keeping your brush quite clean. And it's not a science. It's not, oh, I should do it that way, I should do it this way, this is how it's done. It's trying it out, looking. And the idea is to always finish with the lighter colour and stop, because you can keep going all the time. So I will put some photos up of this, but that is finished. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Please follow. I haven't been on here for a long time, but I'm back. We've built a house. Bye for now.